First of all, nice to meet you. It is a huge pleasure for me to have you here. In fact, this is my first interview for Napalm Records, and I'm so proud that you are my first special guest. So, I've been waiting for this moment for so long now, and
Aw.
I am very, very happy. And I won't hide my excitement, people. Sorry, this is what I am. Take it or leave it.
Well, that
So
makes me very excited too. So thank you very much.
yesterday, I was thinking and watching some of the videos from the last time that I saw you live here in Argentina, and
Yeah.
I was very emotional because I just couldn't believe that today this was going to happen, and like I was crying like a little baby, like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Oh,
Uh,
darling.
yeah, I saw you here for the last time in 2018, and like it was a long time now,
Yeah.
but I'm super happy to be here with you.
Well,
Uh,
I have very warm memories of the trips that we did to Argentina. So thank you very much for the excitement, because that's always what I remember. Like so much excitement, so much passion, and also, yeah, thanks so much for covering the new record. It means a lot to me.
I have to say that you are a true fighter in this industry. Like you've had to pick up your things up and start from zero, not just once, but a couple of times now.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you started like your first solo project after, the split with your former band, and everything was so confusing. People were like, where are we going now? Where is she going now? And then in 2020, you released a first teaser from a song called New Mythology, which was like the starting point for a new journey, which is never ending. I still
Uh-huh.
remember that song. Those lyrics were like, damn, this feels like a real surgery. Uh, I remember those lyrics like, I wonder if the game Money and Fame that we all play is any more real than my nocturnal fantasies. And
Mm.
it's crazy because right now you're more famous than ever before. And I don't want to say strong because I know that this album has very like painful lyrics for what I've seen until now. But thinking about that first song and where are you now, how would you describe this journey so far?
Good question. Um, I think that I've been fortunate in the light of circumstances. Like, um, when I started the Patreon, when I had the idea of starting the Patreon, I was in Delain. It was intended to be like a place for any songs that didn't fit the mold of what I was doing within the band. And I spent a long time thinking about how I wanted to do it, how I wanted to set it up. Like I've went to the Patreon like headquarters in San Francisco, and like I really thought it through. I really prepared it. I had the first songs for the first few months done. But I didn't know that what I was setting up at that moment was going to allow me to remain a full-time musician through a global pandemic and my band splitting up. Because honestly, if I hadn't had already that structure of I have to do this thing every month and I know how it works, and if I didn't have also that support mentally, financially, like with the community, like all of it, then I think I would have just sunk into like a black hole of despair, I'm glad that I didn't have to figure out, okay, what am I going to do at that point, but could kind of continue what I had been doing already, but make it my main focus, my full-time focus. So so I feel very fortunate because of that, and I feel very grateful also for those that kind of helped me along the way. Like I've had a great support system, like family, friends, my husband, but also like that community, was very uplifting. So yeah, I wouldn't say that it was easy, but I feel like I could have come out of it worse. Yeah.
Okay, that's great to hear. And I have to say that, like, when you started this project, like this solo career, people fell in love immediately with your new music because it was totally different from what like you did before, and your new sound was like, okay, what's happening? Like, what is she thinking right now? Where are we going? And it was a, I don't know, like a real new journey, which was already starting at that point, and it was like a real adventure for us to, like for your followers, for your new fans, from your old fans too. It was something totally different, but completely new and fresh. And that was very unexpected, but it was nice at the end of the day. And today we are here to celebrate your upcoming album, The Obsession, after two successful albums like 6 Feet Under, Volume 1 and 2. And I have to say that I'm surprised by the fact that there's one song which is like included in this new album with a new version for what I've seen.
We're talking about Soft Revolution. This was probably my favorite song out of the two Tales from 6 Feet Under albums. I think that it's important to note that both of these records, Tales from 6 Feet Under Volume 1 and 2, were the result of what I did on Patreon, like the Song of the Month, which means that I would write, record, and produce like a song every month, and then I released it on Patreon. And after a while, I started to feel like, you know, I don't want to be the kind of artist that only has their music behind a paywall. Like, I want people to be able to access it for free as well. So that's when I thought I want a selection of them on streaming services where people, I mean, they probably have to listen to some ads, but they can listen to it for free as well. So that's kind of how the idea of doing the Tales album grew. But still, the very idea behind them was not like, I am going to make an album. The idea was, okay, I have these songs, let's put some together and put them on an album. That means that I didn't rewrite them after like that month, or, I didn't look at them anymore. Like, I wrote them all very spontaneously. I didn't have an idea if the songs should fit together. Like, every month was like, what are we going to do now? And of course, maybe most importantly, it was all done here. So any drums that you hear are programmed, any guitars that you hear, with exception of a few, but almost all of the guitars that you hear are programmed. So they're going to be fun, but of a different kind of nature and quality than The Obsession is, where we really took the time to, like, I still wrote the songs in the studio here and put the first versions on Patreon. Like, that phase was still the same. But after that, I started to rewrite, and things that I didn't like, I changed, and I involved the band, and Timo has been super involved in like rearranging it and getting it ready for the band recordings. And like, a lot of work went into it after that, plus the fact that the songs were actually written to be on an album together. So it's a big change. So that doesn't mean that I don't like the Tales records. It's just that they're very different. And I know I have people ask me like, don't you want to record all the songs with the band now? Because, they just had the programmed stuff. And I'm like, no, it's fine. That was that time, and that's what they are. And that is the shape that they're in. And it's fine. However, with Soft Revolution, this was my favorite song. And when we performed it live, I just feel like something happened, and it kind of grew. And Timo used to do a solo at the end, and it made everyone cry. And just the addition of the band there was something that didn't just improve it, but I felt like it was sort of magical. And that was the only song where I thought, okay, if I'm going into the studio, this one I do want to record in a version with the band. Just because I wanted to share that thing that happened when we played it with the band, with everyone who listened to the album as well.
There's something very important to say right now, because I think that the songs from the two previous records, I don't know, I feel like they don't need to be rearranged. I mean, their nature is just like that. It's just in the way that they were written and composed. I think that you did a great job with those two records. But today we are talking about The Obsession, a new album which is coming in September 20th. We are very close to the release day, finally. How do you feel with this new release, with this new chapter in your life? Not only as a musician, but also as Charlotte, as a human being.
It's exciting. I always wonder, like, what are people going to think? I think about that a lot. I overthink about that a lot. I want to, like, I'm really looking forward to get back on the stage. We're having our first gig, like, of this round. We're having the first gig next Saturday, this Saturday, the day after tomorrow, which is very exciting. It's a festival, and yeah, sometimes people feel like it's a bit of a wasteland, you know, that time in between, like the album is done and the album is released. But in fact, there's so much to prepare for, like with the music videos. I just came back from recording another music video yesterday, and with the preparations for the shows and for the tour, and you know, designing merch, and oh, we need a backdrop, and we need a light plan. Like, there's so many things that need to happen in that time in between, that fortunately I don't have a lot of time to be like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. Like, it's a very chaotic and busy time. But yeah, I am full of anticipation for the album release, and especially like the shows after. We have a release show on the 4th of October here in Utrecht. Yeah.
And we have to say too that like the first singles that we heard until now, like The Exorcism, Chasing Sunsets, and Dopamine, are like very different. I mean, when I heard The Exorcism for the first time, I was like, what is happening right now? Because like I don't know, have you missed the heavy side of you? Because it was like very different from the two previous records. Like, this is like metal again in her music. Like, also your voice has been evolving in so many ways. Like, you can do growls now. When did you learn to do that?
I did do some growls on Delain records as well, like on Burning Bridges, and
It was, oh my God, I didn't know that it was you.
yeah, it was me. However, I always felt a bit uncomfortable doing them live, because my technique is not so good, so I kind of hurt my throat a little bit. But I've practiced, I've become a little bit better at it. I'm definitely going to do The Exorcism like grunts live. But yeah, I've always kind of enjoyed it, and I want to become better at it, because it's like that thing where you can go to 11, you know, if you kind of max out on what you're doing on the clean vocals. So yeah, on it being heavy, like there's a lot of reasons why I did things in between that were not necessarily heavy. One of them is, like, when I started the Patreon, I just wanted a place for all the songs that were not like Delain, because I was still in Delain. So if I had heavy ideas, I would just bank them for when we would do new songwriting sessions, you know?
Right.
So then it was just the very different things that I would put on a Patreon. And after that, like, some heavier things were reintroduced again, but I was still kind of really enjoying, because I had done 16 years kind of writing within the same framework, and I love that framework, but I also love pancakes, and I don't want to eat them every day, you know? So I was really enjoying just like experimenting, like, what do I want to do now? A folk song, a pop song, an electronic song. But like slowly, like the heavy songs were reintroduced as well. The thing is, though, even the songs on Tales from 6 Feet Under that are potentially heavier, like Human to Ruin, or The Phantom Touch, they are still not as heavy as they could be because like in all of the elements, like the vocals, I can record the vocals like really, really properly here. Like I also did the Delain albums myself, and it's like that I'm good at. But the guitars are programmed guitars. The drums are programmed drums. So in the mix, when you are going to choose which part you put the loudest, it's going to be the parts that kind of sound the best, because if you put the guitars too heavy in the mix, you're going to hear that they're not actual guitars.
But
So
that's
even
something very, very weird, because I mean, they are programmed, but it still sounds like very organic at the same time, which is
thank
very
you.
weird.
Thank you. Well, Guido, who I sent the songs to mix them, also like really, really is a big factor in that, because he does amazing work on the mixes. So I'm happy that at least it was convincing. But
Yeah.
like, of course, you make different choices with a production like that than, you know, if you have Otto and Timo and Joey, like you're going to have that and you want that like in your face, and it's brilliant. So it's in the songwriting, it's different. And I was already like with this album, I was already first songs I never intended to play live. These songs I wanted to play live. Like I had done like the gigs for the Tales from 6 Feet Under things again, and I was with the band again, and I was really feeling it. So I also made different choices in the songwriting, because if you want to play live and you have to choose whether a certain sound is going to be a harp or a guitar, and you have a guitarist that is Timo Somers, they are going to choose to put in a guitar. So on so many levels, it's heavier. And of course, the band themselves, like in the rearranging, what Timo did to like the guitar arrangements, but also in the drums with Joey, like their choices and their performances, of course, also made it heavier. Like the runs that Timo does, and like the genty things that he does. It's like, yeah, it's so there are so many factors that, like, I already kind of went in that direction. But there's a lot of factors that went into the fact that, you know, there was kind of a diversion for the heaviness, and that now is kind of making a return. Because I wanted to make a decision for this album, like which songs really make me happy, you know, and yeah.
Exactly. And there's a funny story right now, because Chasing Sunsets and Dopamine are something quite unexpected too. Like, it's funny how you can play with the colors and different moods. Like, you reminded me to Lady Gaga and her outrageous colorful wigs from her pastimes. And it is amazing how you can express yourself through different colors too. It seems like you're having fun more than ever before. You are playing with us like we were puppets in your hands. Like, you are the witch that you claimed to be 4 years ago. This is your kind of rainbow era. Like, is there any reason for this colorful experiment?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about the visual side of things, I spend a lot of time making mood boards, thinking about like what kind of themes we're working with, how I want the video to feel, which is something that I kind of always did. This time the hair plays a big part of it in it as well. Like when I shaved my head for the Afkikken video, which was 3 years ago now, 3 years. Like I wore a lot of wigs, and I was like, hey, this is fun, you know, I can be playful with this, and I don't even have to ruin my own hair for it. So I kind of discovered the wigs and how much fun it can be. So yeah, rather than thinking this is what I have to work with, I just, when I have an image of what I want the video to be, then I just go looking for hair that fits with it. I might wear my own hair sometimes as well, but yeah.
Yes, like the exorcism was very like red and black, and then we have like Chasing Sunsets with gold and yellow, and then we have Dopamine with pink and the bubbles and all that funny stuff. And we were like she's crazy. What is she doing with us? Is she playing with our minds? Like, but
Oh, I like that. I mean, I hope in a good way, but yeah, I like that. I don't want to be predictable, so that's good.
yeah, and that said, what's the message that you want to spread with this new album? Like, is this the revolution that you mentioned 3 years ago? And this question, well, leads us exactly to the last track on this new album, because Soft Revolution, just like I said, is coming one more time. What's the message behind the entire record?
The record is about being scared, but doing it anyway. Like, I didn't mean to write like a concept album or something, but as soon as I kind of lay all of the lyrics next to each other, and I was like, okay, in one sentence, what is this song about? Like, every single thing was either about fear or like intrusive thoughts and the escapes from them. So I worked with that, and I thought, okay, if this is what it's going to be, it's what it's going to be. And for me, it's kind of tied to the fact that I was diagnosed with OCD a while ago. But I don't think that this album and the themes of the album will only be recognizable to people who have like a similar diagnosis or challenges. Like, in the end, it's about fear. We all have fears, you know? And this album kind of travels through that, starting rather heavy, but then the end note is quite positive. Vigor and Valor is very much a call for arms to get out and face your fears, basically. Soft Revolution is about being scared and doing it anyway, doing all the things they thought you wouldn't do, and they, in this case, is, you know, myself. So yeah, being scared and doing it anyway.
Great. That's a powerful message. I mean, even though we are like experimenting hard times in the whole world, like, this is a message that must be spread. I think that it's good to know that we have still like artists who want to spread this good message and positivity at the end of the day. Like, you can have fears, you can be scared, but you still can do what you want to do. And that's something very valuable. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
You have been doing collaborations with Simone and Elisa for a long time now. You are like the Powerpuff Girls, I have to say that. Do you have any dream collaboration that has not happened yet?
Yeah, but I cannot say them because I feel like I would jinx them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mystery for now.
It's going to be a mystery for now. However, I feel like I am already so lucky and privileged to have like done the guest appearances or the collaborations that I have done, like in the past, but also for this record. Like, I love Simone, I love Elisa, I love working with them. So it's, yeah, I'm very excited to have them on board, and both, you know, they both kind of have a story behind their collaboration as well. So yeah, it all feels like it's the way it's supposed to be, you know?
In fact, I was listening to Simone's new album like last week or something, and I really was expecting to like hearing your voice, and I was like, what? Like, she's not here. Why?
Oh, that's why I got her on my album.
Exactly. Okay. Like, well, for the last question, I want to know, like, what can we expect from this album in terms of music? Like, we've already heard 3 singles. All of them are very unique and different, but we have 9 more songs on this album. And the question would be, can we expect new styles of music, like new elements or instruments?
Yeah, there is some interesting choices on the record. Like there's a song with a gospel choir, which
Whoa.
is which is interesting. There is like I experiment a lot with different vocal formatting. Like I've done a lot of vocoders and playing with the formants of my voice, which is interesting. There's there is heavier songs, there is more ballad-like songs, there's more progressive songs. There's 2 more singles coming out actually.
I don't want to take it for granted. I hope that you can maybe do a little world tour maybe and coming back to Argentina one day. It would be
I
very
hope
awesome
so.
to hear this,
Yeah,
to listen to these 3 albums like live for the first time. That would be great.
I really hope that we can make that happen. It would be amazing, and we're really hoping to take this show on the road properly. So who knows? And I just want to say thank you, because I don't take the support for granted either. I'm very appreciative of, you know, everyone who's been listening and messaging, and yeah, I'm very grateful. Yes.
See
Well,
you
thank you
next
so
time.
much.
A big hug from me.
Big hugs. Bye bye.